Hello everyone! Welcome to my stop along our monthly Stretch or Sketch YouTube hop. I'm going to be working with some mixed media and some more of the pieces from my scrapbooking store June kit. I am also going to be doing an 8.5 by 11 scrapbook page today. My plan is to do a little bit of mixed media. So this kit has a lot of reds and blues in it, and I wanted to kind of pull in these adorable little ladybug die cuts. They're from Bo Bunny, and I pulled them all out, and I want to use them on a layout. So the ladybugs are red and pink. So I went ahead and I matched the pink ladybugs to this paint. This is Delusions paint in rose quartz. I also have a Nuvo drop that also matches the pink butterflies. So to make sure that everything kind of goes together well, I'm going to do a bit of mixed media onto some basil marshmallow cardstock, and then I'm going to do a layout that is pretty much pink and red and black and white. So I took my wide paintbrush. This paintbrush is from Brutus Monroe, and I love them. Not only are they like pretty to look at, but they work really well. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to paint on this beautiful rose quartz paint through the stencil. I'm going to do the stencil twice. The stencil is, I think it's from Vicki Boutin's first line. Anyway, it's a Vicki Boutin stencil. And I decided to use this one because it is a 6x8. I have lots of stencils that are just bubbles or circles or polka dots, but this one is my longest one. And since I wanted to do the mixed media right down the center. So I don't like the harsh lines that a stencil leaves. They get on my nerves. I don't think it looks good. So I tend to just do exactly what I'm doing here, which is to maybe take a little bit of paint, definitely use my finger and kind of smudge the edges of the stencil so you don't have those harsh lines. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 lengths of the red paper. So this is one sheet. This is one pattern from the kit. I'm going to cut 2, I think I did 2.5 inches wide lengths. And then I'm going to grab some vellum to map my photos. And these are my photos. They are 2 pictures of my niece. We've been doing lots of niece pictures this week. Apparently that's just my jam right now. Oh, no, wait, that's not true. We did my nephews on Thursday. Yeah. Well, you know. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this vellum at, my photos are 3x4, so I went with 3.25 by 4.25, I think. And then I just backed them with the vellum just to give them some separation from the red, and also because I didn't want to add another color. I wanted to stick to the reds and the pinks, and I didn't want to have, what's the word? Combating pinks. So I didn't want to try to find a paper that was that exact same shade. Like I got the shade of pink in the paint, and I was like, there's no way I'm going to find another perfectly matched shade of pink in my stash. So I just did vellum. So while my mixed media dries, so I created this layout at night. This was the last film I did after like binge filming for 3 days. This was my last layout I did. And I would normally have let the mixed media dry overnight, but I'm like, you know what? I don't want to wait. I want to get this layout done. So I set my mixed media under the air conditioner in my room. So the air conditioner was blowing right across the top of it to dry it as fast as humanly possible. And then I came back and I'm organizing all of the pieces to my layout. I'm getting them put where I want them to be. I'm going to add the title to this little ladybug journaling spot that came in the kit. And then, I don't know, maybe I left it 15 minutes and I decided it was dry enough. And now I'm just going to plunk everything down on top of it. This is not normal for me. As you know, I'm generally super patient. I just kind of let my mixed media dry and hang out. But this was like the last layout. It was like 7 or 8 o'clock at night. This was like the last of maybe like, oh, well, let's see. That day I shot like this entire week's videos. So, you know, this is what, like, layout 6. And I was just like, I can do this. I can be careful and not smudge the paint. And you know what? I was able to do this. I got it on and I didn't smudge the paint at all. Now you can see that the mixed media on the back, most of it gets covered up. That's generally how mixed media goes. It is hard to just say, well, I'm just going to do this top little bit and this bottom little bit because the middle's going to be covered up. You don't really know. And then if you kind of look, like some of that mixed media is peeking out from the sides of those banners, kind of peeking out above the top of the page. And so I just decided that when I do mixed media, I generally do like an entire background. It just makes it way easier to be able to layer stuff on top of it. Okay, so now it's just a matter of sticking stuff down. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put all these ladybugs, I'm going to put them along the edges. So the sketch calls for like circles in between the photos, and I decided that part of the way that I would stretch the sketch is to kind of smush the photos closer together, keep that center line, and then instead of doing things in between the photos, I would just have them be above the photos and below the photos. And so that's all I really did to the sketch to kind of shake it up a little bit. Not much. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to add those Nouveau drops. If you, oh yeah, I talked about it on Wednesday, my Schmel sketch. My Nouveau drops don't get used much, and I think they're starting to get like hard and like goopy. So I am trying to make a concerted effort to use them more on a layout. Generally, if I'm going to sprinkle something, I'm going to grab sequins because I always have those hanging around, and I have oodles and oodles of them in every color of the rainbow. But my Nouveau drops end up in my Rascog and kind of they're behind me, so I'm trying to make an effort to go ahead and use some of them because I want to be able, I want to use them. I don't want them to get gummy and old and not work. So I'm just going to add lots of Nouveau drops all around this page. Oh, no. First, I decided it needed to be outlined. That's right. So I'm just using my emoji pen and I'm outlining my layout in black. I thought that finished it off. And now I'm adding the Nouveau drops. And that's going to complete this layout. Off camera, I did go ahead and stamp the date of my photo on the picture or on the side. And then another thing was after I started to clean up, I found that I thought I had one more ladybug. And sure enough, as I was cleaning up, I found the missing ladybug. So I added that in, and you can see it in the close-ups, that last little ladybug. You all have a wonderful day. Make sure to head over to the next video on the hop and enjoy. Bye.